Welcome back to All About Winning Daily Fantasy Sports. My name is Ty Patton. In this video, I am going to attempt to take a look at the Thursday Night Football Showdown contest between the New England Patriots and the New York Giants. I usually don't get too caught up in weather concerns, but tonight's weather leading up to this game was big concern for the past couple of days. And actually, found out it's only going to be 15 to 25-mile-an-hour winds with some gust and little or no rain. So it shouldn't have that much of an impact on the game. They showed the way that the wind is going to be coming. It's not actually a crosswind, and crosswind actually affects field goal kickers. So maybe a little damp, but nothing to really change the outcome of the game. I've heard a lot of people talking about this game and taking the approach that they think it's so easy, and those are usually the ones that are the most difficult. And this one's difficult for me. I mean, obviously, I feel like New England's going to win the game. And the problem with New England is they can win in a whole lot of different varieties of ways. So, how can I put a lineup together with New England winning and be different? Because if you enter the $10 contest on Draftkings, I think there is 100, 200 some thousand entries in it, 100 some thousand. There's a lot of entries. And then, you can play some head to head or double up, but you still want to find a way to be different. So I ran an optimizer. I put all kinds of restrictions on it, limiting the captains. I limited the percentage that they could show up in the flex. I made it to where if Brady was in the captain spot, he had to have two receivers. I probably should have put three receivers. And then I thought about the things that I heard and the way that people were going. I know last week there was a contest that was paying $400,000 to first place, and 400 people split first place. Like they got like $1,012, and I mean, for some guys that are MME, if you won $1,000 back, you didn't even get your money back. But I'm going to take a shot at this. I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share with you the first lineup that the optimizer spit out, and I set it up to, as I mentioned, max percentages allowed. I put some minimum percentages for some players that I wanted to see show up. And as we go along, I'll give you my input on these players and what I think is going to happen. I really think that a lot of people are leaning towards the running game, and pretty much that they're gonna abandon the passing game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him come out and just start throwing it all over the place, and then maybe seal it away with Sony Michel. And don't forget Brandon Bolden. I think Bolden is a real possibility to have a really good game tonight. I remember a few years back on I believe it was a Monday night game. No one had even really heard of Dion Lewis. Now out of nowhere, this guy comes with 3 touchdowns in that game, and I don't think they had showdowns back then, but he definitely scored a lot of fantasy points that night. So let me show you what the first. I'm going to show you the first lineup that was generated by an optimizer that I use. It had White in the captain. Now remember, the captain spot pays you 1.5 times what they score. It also costs you 1.5 times their salary. And some research that I've done lately, I've found that the common score, well, the common overall score is 129 points, and the common score for the captain's position is 41 points. So I like to look at it, can this player get me 41 points, and what's the path to get there? This is the optimizers lineup that it generated. So once I put it all in here, we'll take a look at it and see if it makes sense. And that's another thing with with Showdown. You want to have a game script. Stick to it. Monday night, I had a game script that I thought that San Francisco would shut down Cleveland's running game, which they pretty much did. So I faded Chubb. That was really good. The part that wasn't good was that Baker Mayfield laid a big fat egg, and the passing game didn't do anything either. It was San Francisco running back onslaught, and mix in with a little bit of Kittle and San Fran defense, and you had a nice winning lineup. I didn't have it, but you know, make a stance and go with a game script and stick with it. In these contests that have a lot of entries, or the ones that the cash games, it'll help you cash or sometimes even win. I've never won a showdown. I have placed in a few of them, cashed in a lot of them. I just do it for fun, and I really feel like this game is super challenging. So we'll see. So you had James White in the captain spot, Hillman, the running back for the Giants tonight. I guess I should tell you, if you didn't know, Evan Ingram, the tight end for the Giants, is out. Saquon Barkley is out. Receiver Shepard is out. The backup running back Gallman is out. So here comes a guy named John Hillman. He's their running back tonight. Also mentioned that Dorsett and Burkhead are out. Patriots. Next player it had was the Patriots defense. Then Sony Michel. I guess I shouldn't say it had. I had. The computer only knows what you tell it. I'm the one that set all the minimums and maximums for this. Daniel Jones and Tom Brady. This is a really strong lineup. It will probably be popular as well. Everybody knows that James White catches a lot of passes out of the backfield and has the potential to score a lot of fantasy points. In uh, Draftkings, with your captain getting 1.5 times, and it's PPR. So now you got a situation where if he catches 10 passes, that's 15 points. You throw in a touchdown, that's another 9 points because it's 1.5. Now 10 catches, 1 touchdown. Suddenly you're at 24 points. And remember, I said I'm shooting for, want to get to 41 points, 41 points for my captain. So there's a path for White to get there. But let's look at this lineup. So we got Jones, and if the Giants manufacture any points, I feel like Jones is going to be involved. They only have an implied total of 12 points. So Jones with the running back, that seems pretty safe. And then you have the Patriots defense, really, really popular. I haven't seen anything on ownership numbers on the showdown. I can just imagine how many what the ownership is for the Patriots defense, because everybody knows it's going to be damp, it could be slick, and the main thing is the Giants, and they don't have any players. So you have Brady with the main running back, with James White and the captain, and then you have 2 possible ways that the Giants can score: Jones or Hillman. The Patriots defense is really tough this year, and but don't forget they've also played, the teams they've played have a combined record of 1 win and 17 losses. This isn't the game where we're going to find out how good the Patriots are, but there are some games down the road where we'll find out. But you only can play who's on your schedule, so you know. So this is this is a nice lineup. I will use this lineup somewhere. I'm in a couple $1. I'm going to get in the $10 one. But I have a feeling if this cashes, it's going to be cashing with a lot of people because I mean, it only left 400 on the table, and it's okay to leave a lot of money sometimes on the table in the showdown slate. That just means you're being really different lineup building. So let's clear that one. I'm going to show you another one that gave me without White in the captain spot. Because the second one that I had also had White. This one has another popular player, Edelman. It has the tight end from the Giants, Ellison. He's going to be real popular because he is only $200. That if you play Ellison, that basically allows you to play anybody you want from the Patriots. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of lineups tonight that are what they call 5-1, 5 Patriots and 1 Giant, only because you have to have one player from the other team. And then we have Sony Michel. Sony Michel leading the way. James White. Let's see here. So Daniel Jones from the Giants. And of course Tom Brady. So that's really nice too. You got Brady's main target, might not be able to throw the ball down the field too much to Gordon. He loves to pepper Edelman with targets. So there you got Edelman, you got Brady. If they get down near the goal line, you see a situation with Sony Michel running it in, and you also have James White in there. For Edelman to get to 41 points and then the captain spot, that's 8 receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown. It's possible. You get at 100 yards, you get the 3-point bonus, and remember everything's 1.5. So that gives you 8 in the hundreds, 18 plus the 3, 21, and 27. And it puts you right at the 41. That seems doable, even in a game that's if it's lopsided, you could see him getting that early on, and then New England sealing it away with their running game. So I really like this lineup as well. I'm going to see if anything's changed on this questionable tag on him. I really get worried. Still got him as listed. The same applies to Josh Gordon knee, but given that both starting receivers were able to log their usual allotment of snaps in the Week 5 win over Washington, the duo is expected to play Thursday. And his targets so far this year, I don't have to tell you, but Week 5 he had 9, Week 4 he had 7, Week 3 he had 10, Week 2 he had 4. That was the Miami game, 43-0. Pittsburgh game, he had 11. Pittsburgh, they won 33-3. That was a blowout. He had 11 targets. The Jets game, 30-14. He had 10 targets. So, I mean, he's getting a lot of targets. It's just they are so unpredictable. That's the problem that I have with trying to figure out New England. So that's really let me make sure here we got a note on Ellison. Ellison's likely to start at tight end in Thursday night's game against the Patriots with Evan Ingram rolled out. And he has had, in Week 4, he was targeted 4 times against Washington. So that lineup makes sense. I mean, get a lead with Heparin Edelman with a lot of targets. Daniel Jones playing catch up, not able to throw the ball down the field. Plus, you have Stephon Gilmore back there. So maybe you throw a lot of underneath stuff to Ellison, or Jones takes off running, so you could get those points as well. And then later in the game, you can see with Sony Michel sealing it away with the run game. those lineups look really nice, and to me, they just look too easy and too obvious. I guess to cash and split it with somebody is better than nothing, but I did play around with a few. I'm going to tell you honestly, there's a one player that I like a lot that I want to put in the. There's actually a couple that I want to put in. I want Brandon Bolden in here with Burkhead out. If the Patriots do want to run the ball a lot, and if this ends up being a blowout, you could see a situation where Bolden gets a fair amount of carries as well. Um, it's not beyond New England to just use a whole bunch of people in the backfield. Bolden, and then there's a guy for the Giants, Darius Slayton. He is averaging 17 yards of reception. Now he's only had, let me look here. He's had 9 receptions on 12 targets. He's catching 75% of the passes for 157 yards, 17 yards a catch. He's the deep threat. So should they get behind, and Golden Tate is playing, so maybe Gilmore takes away Golden Tate. Remember, that's how the Patriots like to play. They like to race your best threat, and with all these injuries that they have, you can see a situation where Golden Tate's probably the best that they have, and he's probably going to be popular in these lineups too. So if Slayton gets, a couple catches, busts one for a touchdown, he could give you the points needed um, to cash or potentially win. I mean, if I played around with one lineup where I actually had him in the captain's spot, but I'll play it safe, and I'll have I'm going to have Bolden and Slayton, and that pretty much opens it up 10,000. I can my next 3. If I go to my captain spot, if I want to pop Brady in there. Now, what I'm doing is fading Michelle, and coming with, well, obviously, if Brady's in the captain, I'm going to have to put one of his targets. I'm going to go ahead and put Edelman back in there with him, and bring it back with Jones. Jones to throw the ball to Slayton. That leaves me 6,500, and that can leave me the Patriots. And that's one that I really like. It's different. It doesn't have James White. Doesn't have the running back for the Giants, Hillman. He's going to be popular too. Everybody knows he's the starting running back. But I would watch out for the backup, Elijah Penny. He is. I think he's finally healthy. He's 3,200. I was surprised at some of the prices on the Giants. Actually, Penny could be in store for an elevated role in the Giants' game plan Thursday against the Patriots, with neither Saquon Barkley nor Wayne Gallman expected to be available to play. He has averaged 3.8 yards per carry. He's only had 1 reception, but it's just Hillman and Penny. So make sure you're playing a few different lineups. Consider him. Just don't go with what's obvious. That's not going to win this. Something really crazy something crazier will win it, or 400 people will split like they did last week. So, but it's just something to do to follow along with the game. Reminder: DraftKings has the contest called Flash Draft, which is as the game goes along. Like, say for instance, the first quarter, you'll pick players for the second quarter, and what it is every 2 or 3 minutes they have a contest, and they show you 3 players. You have 15 seconds to pick one of them. Now you have to pay close attention because some of them have multipliers on them, like 1.5, 2, or 3. And if you're following along the game, you can kind of get a feel for which players to use. A couple times I've won some money and had a pretty good return on my investment, and it's just fun. But if you're not following the game close, I wouldn't suggest doing it. It's for people who are really following along. I'm going to be back tomorrow early, probably before noon, to post my strategy and lineup building video. And I'm going to go and get this posted so I have an hour, hour and a half before game time. Hopefully, it gives you guys some value, something to think about. Remember, be different. Go with a game script, stick to it, and have fun with it. I appreciate you joining me. I appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when my next video post. Feel free to drop some comments below. Some of you guys have been doing that. I really appreciate the comments and the opinions. I'd like to really grow this channel. And I'm going to go for now. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care and have a good night.